I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at Smithy TV in downtown Toronto. Hi, I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here in downtown Toronto with filmmaker Cassandra Cronenberg. How does it feel to have your short film, Candy, screening at Tiff?
Very exciting. It's very exciting, yes.
What did you do when you found out the news?
I actually cried, which I was really surprised by. I wasn't expecting that. And I was very overwhelmed and really, just very grateful to have it in the film and happy that people, that they liked it and wanted to screen it. So, yeah.
Great. Tell me about the inspiration behind the project.
There are a few things. One was the Lou Reed song "Walk on the Wild Side," "Candy Darling," sort of the modern, I don't know, sort of Toronto version, art scene, sort of movie, film thing. Anyway, and that. So yeah, and the poet, the poetry, the poet in the poem. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the collaboration with the poetry and how you went about using that in the film.
Well, I had known Mark for about a year or so, Mark DiSeverio, who wrote the poem, and we were just sort of, thinking about collaborating on something, and that poem, Weekend Pass, really struck me. And the film was shot in a weekend, so it was sort of like my weekend pass out, and it was like, I don't know, it was just sort of the poem is a weekend pass from the hospital, right, from mental. He's bipolar. He's been in and out of hospitals his whole life, and so most of his poetry is very sort of classically framed, but it's about, medication and being institutionalized, and the life of of being in a mental institution, which spoke to me, so it was sort of my weekend pass in a way, filming the film from my life at that time. I was just going through a few things like a divorce and stuff like that, so having a hard time myself, and so there's that. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
What was it like acting for the first time?
Very challenging. I was very, very nervous, and it was also fun. Like I enjoyed it. And I really, came out of it with a great deal of respect for actors.
Mm-hmm. What was your acting process like?
My acting process was to try not to think about it as much as possible, because I also wrote it, so I already had an idea. And I just thought, just on the day, as long as I know what I'm saying, and because I was the director and the producer, I also cut some of my lines out right before. I was like, okay, I don't need 4 lines, 2 is fine. And so I just sort of, really tried to keep the nervousness down. That was sort of my biggest challenge. And then it was fun. It just sort of happened. Yeah.
What's your directorial style like?
I do need to direct more to really figure that out, because I was wearing so many hats. It's hard to know. Like, I sort of felt like, well, I was calling action and cut, and I was like watching all the takes, and I didn't feel like I did that much, like, as a director. So and it was, so I'd like to do it more, mm-hmm. and then maybe I can answer that better.
How did you go about casting the project?
My casting director, Nicole Hilliard-Ford, she cast it for me. Some people I knew, like Mark, I had already developed a relationship, but Nicole cast the rest. So yeah, she was amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
And in terms of going from the initial first draft to the final product, is it what you expected it to be?
No. That was really a process of letting go. Like, it's sort of like, because I also paint, and it's sort of like that first drawing that you do, that you're going to paint on top of. Sometimes you just want to keep that. There's something beautiful about it, and something very simple, and I don't know, just the written words on the page. I just liked that, and The process was very complicated, actually, internally for me, to go from that as we looked at locations, and then, you know, talking to James, my cinematographer, and Bob, my first AD, and just sort of, it really, I had to let it go. It was sort of a process of letting go. It was which I wasn't expecting, so, yeah.
What do you hope that audiences take away from the film?
I would hope that the struggles that these people have gone through, and also the strength of the characters, the strength of the people in the film, Candy and the poet especially, and that also that that life is challenging, but that there is hope within that, and the relationship. Anyway, I don't want to give away too much. So, but yeah. Yeah.
And what types of projects can we see you develop in the future, possibly?
Well, I have, a few in mind. So it really depends on sort of other people at this point. Yeah.
And along the same lines, or do you think you'll explore other genres?
Along the same lines in some way. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's weird. I think of the films as sort of, yes, genre, and also culturally. So yes, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
And where's the best place to find out more information on you and on Candy online?
That would be the best place. Would be Tiff. Yeah. Right now, Tiff. Go see the film. It's program 3. It's screening September 9th and 10th, and then afterwards, Tiff is doing this new thing. 24 hours after the last screening, I believe, 12 or 24 hours after, they're putting the films up on YouTubeTiff.com for the first time for 10 days for the remainder of the festival, so people can go online and see it. Cool. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. Congratulations, and have an amazing time at TIFF.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats in downtown Toronto.